All right.
Hopefully she'll join
Um,
us.
did you guys hear? Well, Kenna, you probably didn't hear, but last night we had a rash of UFO sightings here, like a
What?
ton. Yes, people filmed them even. And I'll
Well,
send you. I'll
so
send you some of the videos.
was it
Thanks.
yesterday or the day before? There was like the most like meteor like or like shooting star
This
activity.
Perseid meteor shower. It happens this time every year.
Yeah, it
Uh,
just happened too. So like that's wild that
it's
like
still
those.
going on. Yeah,
Oh,
because I'm seeing them every morning when I go to work. But the guys that videotaped these, thankfully, it was light enough that you could still see some of the outline of the mountain. They took it looking west over the mountains in Pocatello, so you still have the horizon of the mountain, so you can see that he's not moving the phone around. He's got the phone steady, and you can see these things moving all around. Yeah, and a lot of people saw them. A lot of people saw
oh,
them. It
chills.
wasn't just one dude, and it's not Jupiter and Saturn that's in the sky right now, real bright, real close to each other. They're kind of moving around each other. It's not that. These are moving. So it's very cool. So
Yeah, I'm gonna
anyway,
have to look up some videos for sure. That's
I'll
wild.
send you. We did download. Thanks to Mud Lover, she was able to screenshot the videos because I'm like I can't do it till I get home, and I'm hoping the guy didn't pull the videos, and so she did it today. Sent them out, so
Mm-hmm.
I'll send them to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, what you got? You're starting a new series today.
Yes, we are starting a new series. It doesn't have a name yet. Like, I've got a few ideas kind of floating around, but just nothing's felt quite right. But like the gist of it is we're covering like things that are like related to the ocean. So like ghost ships, we're covering a ghost ship or haunted ship today. Sea monsters, sirens, like pirate legends, stuff like that. Like, you know, Davy Jones' Locker and all of that fun stuff. Um, and you know, just in my brain, like every reference I was thinking of like somehow related to like SpongeBob. So so I'm gonna keep thinking on that when we have a name, you know. Well, we'll refer to it by that. Um,
Cool.
but until then, the Oceanic series. Today we're covering the USS Hornet. Um, thank you, Mud Lover. So it's an aircraft carrier. So this was, I'm going to give you a little history on it first. So currently it's located in Alameda, California. Um, it is an 824-foot long aircraft carrier that was first launched on August 30th. So, you know, that's when it entered the water in 1943 and commissioned or put into service on November 29th, 1943. So it was used in World War II, in the Vietnam War. It has a very rich history. This specific ship does. It was actually the primary recovery vessel for the Apollo 11 and 12 missions as well. So
Oh,
they were sent out to go and like recover the pods, recover any artifacts, and bring them back. So super, super cool. But this ship is considered the most haunted ship in the United States. Ooh, I like that. I like Dark Depths. That's cool.
oh,
Thank you,
okay. I
Danielle.
saw
I
the
know.
first one, and I'm like, I don't know what she's saying, so I'm not going to say it. Now
Yeah,
I get it.
name suggestions are totally welcome. If you think of
I'm like, okay,
something,
what
throw it in the comments and we
yeah.
may use it. Um, so it's one of the most funded ships in the USA. Some people say it is the most. But roughly 300 crew members had died, passed away on this vessel. Um, whether that's from like accident or suicide, about 140 of them, or actually exactly 140 of them, died when the ship was sunk. It was sunk. It was hit with like two bombs and a torpedo, and 140 crew members passed away because the ship sunk. Um, but obviously, they brought it back up because it's currently a museum in Alameda. Uh, but let's
Wow.
see. So yeah, it's now the USS Hornet Sea, Air, and Space Museum, which is kind of crazy, sea, air, and space. But I mean, you have those ties to the Apollo. Uh, it offers many unique experiences, including overnight stays. So you can go and people stay one night, two nights, you know, They have in-depth tours, behind the scenes type stuff, community events. I've heard of like scouts taking like overnight trips, like scout trips, and spending time at night in this ship. I'm not sure how much they're doing it today, but historically, like people my age remember doing this when they were kids. Um, but visitors can explore the ship, participate in activities, and learn about like the history and technology. There's veterans that volunteer, do tours, and they're able to talk about like similar experiences that they've had on like similar like vessels or aircraft carriers. So it's really, really cool. Something I would totally love to visit, but I love museums. But some visitors also, of course, have reported experiencing paranormal activity on the ship, particularly they're in the hospital and the engine rooms. They do also, and I'm not sure like what section, if it's under a tour or what it is, but there's quite a few like pages, groups that will go in and do paranormal investigations as well. And they have so much activity, so much activity. It's kind of crazy. I watched a few videos of some of the things that people were experiencing, and it was just experience after experience, encounter after encounter. And so, hi, welcome.
You know, Kenna, with ships, right? Like aircraft. I mean, they love them. Sailors love their ships. They're completely. They never leave them, even after they die. They stay with their ship. They stay with their craft, and you know, it's amazing how much hauntings go on all those vessels.
Right. And I feel like a lot of people, like I've heard in a few different spaces that spirits are drawn to or attracted to like running water. That, you know, being a vessel on, you know, it's in a bay, it's in the Bay Area, you know, that the ocean is constantly moving, it's constantly churning, never stops. So you can see like how those vessels would be such a high energy hub for that paranormal activity, which is super cool. So let's see. So some of the paranormal experiences that people have had, they've reported like odd electrical activity, which, you know, you guys have experienced that firsthand. They report being touched, seeing shadows or apparitions, and there's multiple reports of whispers, hearing people whisper in directly in their ear, which that, you know, like I'd love to go and see this and experience some of this, but not that part personally. But because of like the ability to tour the ship and you can spend the night there, there are many contemporary accounts of paranormal experiences. I do have a few, you know, we'll get through what we get through today. But this one is a little tidbit. I watched a few videos. This was in the comments of it. It says, my father was on the USS Hornet and has numerous paranormal stories. He was once woken up by an officer in the middle of the night, who followed, and he followed him. He followed the officer into the hall where the officer disappeared, like before his eyes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep, you can imagine. Oh, another comment was said, and this was the person who had, you know, I assume had served in the Navy or on a ship, said, I made sure not to die on my, submarines, so I wouldn't be on ghost deployments for eternity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. He's like, I don't want to work forever. Like, I'm good. Totally understandable. As far as like high profile, I don't know if you are familiar with like the comedian like Matt Rife.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, girls love him. He's a beautiful man. But a lot of people don't know that he does a lot of like paranormal investigation or paranormal experience type stuff. And he and like a couple people had like basically a private tour of the vessel at night. It was him, and they essentially like forced him to play like this game of hide and seek. They made him close his eyes and count to 100, and the two people that were with him left him in like the belly of the ship and pieced out and like went and ran and hide. and he had to like find them, and he said that it was horrible. It was terrifying. He said it was the most terrifying place he's ever been to. But I mean,
Yeah, I don't think he bought the Annabelle doll, but he did buy the Warrens' house, and
Yes.
the dolls and all of the paranormal stuff is on loan for 5 years to him with the house.
Oh God!
So he's considered the custodian of all of the artifacts. Yeah.
Yeah, him and a buddy. We'll see what happens. This ought to be really interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Oh, well, I mean, apparently he's like very much into it. He's done a ton of the experiences. If this is like the most terrified he's ever been doing a paranormal investigation, like that says something, I feel like.
Yeah.
I do have a story from a scout also. So we'll kind of go through this. Like, I found a few stories. This is the big one, so probably be our last bit we'll discuss. But so this person, someone was asking about it in a forum, and they responded. They said the USS Hornet is a real aircraft carrier that was used in World War II. And they say that the experiences they're talking about are completely true, and are still creepy as I think about them. When I was about 9 years old, I was in the Boy Scouts. We went on a small, say, field trip to go this Hornet. It was an overnight trip, which, as they said, was haunted. I found out later they weren't just trying to scare us. We went around the ship with a guide, learning about it, hearing there had been deaths on the ship after it was hit with a torpedo. After the tour, our group was going to stay the night and live out the next day exactly how the crew did back during the war, which I think is great. It's great for young people to have that immersive experience. It's very enriching. But let's see. So they would, go and do daily duties, like go to the mess hall, stuff like that. But that night, he went to sleep in the top bunk in the barracks. During the middle of the night, I woke up to go to the bathrooms. Now the ship is almost completely dark. And I've heard this from a few different people. Like at night, it's metal boxes stacked in a metal half bowl, or bowl. And so the only light you have is whatever they have turned on, which is usually like the red emergency lights. And that's what this person kind of like states that they could see, or like, they were able to use to get to the bathroom. So as they're like walking down the hallway, they leave the barrack, they're walking down the hallway, they hear stomping. He says, I hear stomping above me. I was tired and didn't think about the fact that you wouldn't even be able to hear a gunshot from the floor above, being that the floors are 3 layers of titanium. And I thought it was a few kids running around, so I turn around and go towards the stairs as I'm still hearing the stomping. So as I get up to the next floor, I walk down the hall. I couldn't see all the way down because of the lighting. I still hear stomping in the darkness. I walk all the way to the end, which is a dead end, and the sound stops. I was tired, so I wasn't alarmed. I returned to go to the bathroom, and I hear the noise again. I check another time. Same thing happened again, and I started to worry. I ignore the noise the third time and go straight to the bathroom. As I'm walking to the bathroom, I pass the prison cells they have in the ship, and the pillows that are meant to be on the beds are all piled together in the middle of the floor. So everything's been moved into the middle of the floor. I run into the bathroom, and every sink and toilet are just rushing water. So I think, forget this. If I pee myself, it's better than going in there. I go back into the barracks and climb into the bunk. I wake up the next morning before everyone else, and I'm laying on the cold floor under the other bunks. There's no way I could have felt. They were like hammocks. And if it were a prank, I'm a very light sleeper, and it wouldn't have worked. To this day, I still don't understand the events that occurred, but he says to like try to look at this experience through like a 9-year-old's eyes.
Yeah.
I remember being 9, and you don't know. Like, I feel like you can really comprehend the things that are happening to you or around you at 9 years old. It's, your brain's still pretty squishy, but you have that sense of reality. So experiencing something like that probably, still affects this person like to this day.
Yep. That's nuts. Good story. I love
Thanks.
this stuff.
I thought it was going to be longer, but I mean, yeah, that's like all I have. So do you guys have any questions about the ship, the tours?
Well, it's really confusing. So the Hornet, I've never been to this one, and I wish I would have now. As many times as I've been there to Alameda, I wish I would have gone. But if you look up sunken aircraft carrier, or you look up the Hornet, there's one that was sunk. Was this one sunk and brought up?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I was confused. I'm like, because they usually don't ever rename a ship.
So when the large chunk of crewmen died, it was like that 140 I was talking about. So it was attacked. It was 2 bombs, 1 torpedo. A bunch of people died, and it actually sank the next day.
Let me show you guys. This is I'm going to show you this image from the Navy Times, if I can get my computer to work. Or I'll just show you the page from the Navy Times. That way they're getting credit for it. Let's do that. This, share screen. Here we go. This is what it looked like underwater. Nuts, huh? I mean, yeah, I was confused there for a minute. I'm like, now wait a minute, is this the same Hornet? So very cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this one was the 7th, because they kind of tend to reuse names in like vessels. This is the 7th USS Hornet. There's another one. Yeah.
Always bad luck to rename, to use a name over again. So this was the 7th. So the one that sunk.
I mean,
that's not one they brought up.
They didn't have a whole lot of luck on, so it probably was a lot of bad luck.
Why would you keep using the name of something that, you know what I'm saying? Why would you keep using the name of something that was not having good luck?
I don't know. I used to have a little rowboat. I named it Titanic. Just kidding.
What happened to it?
I don't know.
Got a hole.
Okay, I was really confused there for a minute. So we're talking about 2 different Hornets.
Well, so
this says
one,
sunken aircraft carrier was found 3.5 miles below the South Pacific surface.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the Yorktown class flat top Hornet.
So this
is not a, yeah, it's different.
It is a Yorktown aircraft carrier. Hold on.
It is. Okay, if somebody knows in the comments, let us know what's going on here. I'm really confused.
So this one was sunk and then back up. It was officially decommissioned in 1970.
They did lift it up.
They did lift it up. Yes.
Interesting.
I know.
How is that even possible?
They can. I mean, they do it all the time. They'll recover. They can recover stuff. But like, what was on there that was so valuable for the Navy to lift it up? That's the thing. What was down there? I mean, that's where you got to go.
Right. I know.
We nailed it.
Well, because it was a very. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm thinking, okay, we saw a tractor and things like that. I mean, but what else was on there?
It was like a very high profile ship. Like it only served was in commission in World War II for like 2 years before it was like damaged and had to be repaired and then reused in Vietnam. But it was like considered like one of the most effective ships, one of the most effective crews, like it's part of history, especially when it comes to like its significance tied to like the mission to reach the moon, or to just get to space in general. So it was a very high profile ship. It had like won, and like the crew had won like multiple awards because of how efficient and how badass they were essentially.
I want to show you guys this too, because this is an unbelievable picture. This is a plane diving into the Hornet.
Ouch.
I mean, this is, and look at all the gunfire right around it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's craziness that, I mean, anybody lived through stuff like that. So yeah, it was 11. There they had 11 Japanese bombers trying to attack this vessel at one time. So that's crazy. I mean, it's, yeah, I don't know. You'd think maybe, having served in the Navy, I would know like all of these battleships, but you don't know this stuff if you don't serve. You know what I mean? I was in a control tower. It's different. So I don't know. Maybe Tovar in our audience there, if you know anything about the Hornet, because you served too. I don't know. It's really interesting.
Did you read David's comment there? That's really interesting.
They had a battleship that was able to teleport into other dimensions. Well, yeah, what the Philadelphia experiment is what you're talking about, right? But yeah, that was nuts. Yeah, I don't know. So you got to wonder, was there something on there? There must have been something worth salvaging on there that they would not, because we have sunken ships all over the globe. Right. Why did they bring this one up?
It also would have had to have been like big enough or not discreet enough for them to just send someone down to retrieve it. Like whatever it was would have had to have been huge, so that they needed the excuse to bring up the entire ship.
Yeah, it's just wild to me. I need to learn the history of this now. I'm intrigued as to why they did this, but fascinating story. And I was telling you before we started, I think it's the Lexington in okay.
Is that the Texas one?
Yes. Museum. I think they call her the Lady Lex. Let me see. Am I right on this one? The Gray Ghost? Corpus Christi. I couldn't remember the name of the town. It was Corpus Christi. And it's absolutely stunning. And that's where they filmed Pearl Harbor, the movie. And the whole crew had really a lot of stuff going on there. So that's a pretty interesting one too. If anybody in the Corpus Christi area has been on this museum, it's incredible. But thanks for this. Is a cool topic. I can talk all day long about haunted ships and haunted aircraft. Absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome.
Blue Ghost. Yeah.
Yes. Write that down. Blue Ghost.
There's an actual. It since we have a few minutes. You guys get your questions ready for Susie and Celeste, please. But there isn't a static aircraft. When they say a static display, that is an aircraft that's no longer capable of flight. It's for like museum, right? And they have them inside and outside buildings, right? And so there is a static display, and I want to say it's Castle Air Force Base, but I'm not sure. I can look into this for you guys, but my dad has been there several times to this particular aircraft on static display. It's static. It has no capability of flight. It has no wiring in it. They stripped it all to reuse it. It has no instruments that can work because there's no wiring. There's no electricity. There's nothing running the generator to make it right. And they have documented and filmed World War II chatter going on through the radios and all the instruments lighting up at night. And it sounds like it's full of the crew talking. Yeah. So
that's wild.
It's fascinating. So it's all ghostly sounds that are coming through, but have the whole cockpit panel light up. But there's no generator to run that. There's no wiring to run it. So
that is wild.
Yeah,
like that's like a testament also to like the many accounts of like the paranormal energies. Like they say it's like a high frequency energy and like that's conducive to like producing electricity. Like so it totally makes sense.
Right.
There was another famous explorer that went down to one of these sunken ships and had a recorder with him, and you could actually hear the engines turning, like you could hear the rumble of the engines, and he caught that. His first name starts with Josh, so I don't know if you want me to keep on that, but it was really cool.
Yeah.
And then I actually went to the Titanic exhibition. Did you guys ever go see that?
Yes.
Oh, that was so cool. It was so active. My daughter and I were in there. We were hearing voices. We were
Where
seeing
was that?
figures. It was in years ago. It was in Idaho Falls in the Museum of Idaho. And it was
I
amazing.
saw this stuff.
Well, that was quite a few years ago, but yeah, you could literally feel them there, and you could hear the talking of the people still.
Wow.
It was just amazing.
Fascinating stuff.
I did go to that when it was at the Luxor in Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
cool.
Did it just give you the willies?
Oh my gosh. Like I was young, like
So
I
much
was a
energy.
kid, but I remember like the way I felt. Like I feel like if you don't remember like every detail, you remember the way you feel. And it was very,
Exactly.
very solemn.
You know, I went to the King Tut exhibition at the Luxor. That was like 30 something years ago.
Wow.
That was unbelievable walking through that. I was just got the chills just walking in the door. You could feel the energy from all of that stuff. That was nuts. It's crazy how much energy will remain. Hey, Regina. Okay, so you guys start popping questions into the chat, please, for the ladies, and we'll start taking them. In the meantime, what's going on with all the retrogrades, ladies? Where are we with all of that?
We're out of Mercury.
Yep.
That ended, I think, the 11th or 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But there's some that are going on clear to like November.
Yep.
Because I am like
November 13th or something like that. Like Saturn for sure is going clear to middle of November. That's the one I'm really been watching. I'm like, okay, where's the karma? I want to see this stuff.
oh, is that the karma one? Oh, please bring it home. I want yes. There are some people. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. This whole week I've been really fuzzy headed, and I don't know what that is about. I don't know if it's the meteor shower. I don't know. There was something that hit the moon yesterday too. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, that was really cool. And I saw two different videos. One where the plume was just a big like circle, and then one where you could see the jet of the dust come up out like, almost like a mushroom cloud. That was cool. Really fascinating. Yeah. Yeah. If you get on the NASA websites, it'll show it to you.
And then for the people in the audience, if you're not aware that last night we had a rash of UFO sightings in Pocatello, like a lot. People have been talking about it all day on Facebook. Some people, of course, are going, ha, 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 you didn't see anything, that whole thing. But there are some pretty compelling videos that were taken. Mm-hmm. And you can see the horizon of the mountain, right? So there was still enough light you can make out the edge of the top of the mountain where these lights were dancing all around. So it's pretty fascinating. And they were red, glowing lights that were moving all around the sky and zooming around. Nothing that we
and stopping and then zooming. On the videos I was watching, they were moving and then they would stop and then.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. So
I've never seen a meteor go.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
everybody's like, it's a meteor shower. I'm like, come on, guys. This is use your. This is not meteors. Meteors don't reverse course.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I wonder, though, if some of it isn't, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but let's go. If some of it isn't government, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that for a long time, they've had technology much more advanced than they let you know that they have.
They do, but I don't.
It could be both, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm open to everything. So.
Yeah, they could. I mean, they could. I just don't. The one thing that I do, there are certain secrets that the government can keep very well, but not very many secrets. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. I never met a sailor who didn't spill the beans immediately on anything they found out immediately. So, okay. Okay, Danielle says, I don't normally get the chance to log in on Wednesdays due to prior animal commitments, but today is a vacation day. Woo! Danielle, we need questions from you. Mm-hmm. David says the government absolutely has aircraft that are spaceborne. If you look through our stealth fighter jets, that is proof enough that our technology is not from Earth.
So back when I was a Navy wife in 1992, I was told not to discuss anything close to a window. in my car or in my home, because when we speak, we get the vibrations off the window, and they can actually collect the, information and see what we're saying, because it resonates at certain frequencies. And then,
Who's collecting it?
I don't know, but that's what they warned us as Navy wives. They said, don't talk near windows or in your car. And then they said, we've got the capability to check out license plates and everything like that, clear back in 1992 from satellites. So it was just really interesting to me. Yeah, well, that's what the commander told us.
I think that was
probably, whatever, bro. You do you. I'm going to go over here and worry about having kids,
I'm like, oh my God, because the Navy wives are the worst. Okay, here we go, Susie. You have a question. I'm just saying, Susie.
She's like, they're the worst.
They were the worst.
It only lasted like a year and a half. So.
Okay, so yeah, you. I'm just saying. Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You wanted to hear something go through the grapevine. You went down to the officers club and you listened to the Navy wives. Whew. You couldn't say one thing. It didn't come all the way around the room in 2 seconds. Just like, I know, David, loose lips and chips.
Which was also a good name for the series, maybe.
Hey, I kind of like that too.
Making notes. I wrote down like a bunch of lingo. I've just got a list of like pirate phrases right now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm ready for Danielle.
Okay.
So universe is saying right now that you've been feeling kind of a minor conflict, which is it's smaller than you think it is. You feel like it's a giant molehill, like it's going to uproot your entire life. And, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But it's actually much, much smaller. It's real petty. And it says that just give it a little time, put it on the back burner. Don't worry about it. And it's going to move you into like calm waters. Everything's going to chill out, and you're going to still be able to like maintain your independence. And it feels like kind of a financial thing too. So it's saying, don't worry about it. Everything's going to come out okay. So if that kind of is vague enough or not, I don't know. But yeah, it was like reverse the mountain of a molehill and just, shrink it back down. It's going to be okay.
Yeah. Susie, I kind of wanted you to speak a little bit to when you do your readings, when you pull for, can you talk a little bit about, you pull cards and you give readings like on TikTok and Instagram, and some people get a little upset because it's not like exactly them. Can you speak to that? And Celeste, when you've done maybe?
So it's like tapping into kind of like a general energy, or for the majority of people. If they want something real specific, then we can do it one-on-one. But if I'm going, okay, if I ask the universe, okay, what's the general feeling for people born under the sign of Scorpio at this time? What are most of them feeling? That's what'll happen. And then I sometimes will get a comment to, well, that's not exactly me, or if it's something that's a little bit shocking to them, and they'll be like, well, you're wrong. And I'm like, well, you should be grateful that I'm wrong then. And you're one of the exceptions. So calm down. So it's not always going to resonate with you, but you can always find something, even if it doesn't completely resonate. There's going to be one or two things in there, just because energy is like it's a river. It's a big flow. If I chuck a stick in the middle of the river, that stick is still going to be touching some of the river. It might not be touching the bank on this side or the bottom of the river, but it's still going to be touching some of that water in the middle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Me and my analogies. I'm sorry. McKenna's laughing.
I love it.
Crackhead. But yeah, that's kind of how I roll, and it can be exhausting. I'll tell you that right now. Like tapping into that much gigantic energy is a lot.
Yeah.
And then like when Celeste and I feel sometimes these big energetic collective shifts, almost like you get a sense of the energy, but also of the hive mind of people kind of like going either against it or with it. And sometimes it can be a lot. Don't you agree, Celeste?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let me grab my card.
So Celeste, when you're doing like a reading like what Susie's explaining, like when you're doing a Virgo reading, or does sometimes the people that you know just all of a sudden you're reading for them, and does that happen to you guys instead
Are
of
you talking on the show or just in general?
Well, let's say in general, like when Susie's doing a cards for just like a sign, but all of a sudden, and if you're doing cards for just a sign, just to give, let's say you want to give Libra a general reading, right? Just for the collective world. Here's Libra's reading for the day. Do people that you know come through that are Libras, and all of a sudden you pick them up?
Yeah, and I'm going to answer that right here for you, because doggone it, every time I do Virgo, I'm like, no, Colleen, shh, shh, shh. But I still get you. And even though I'm like trying to ignore it, and this time I picked up on the 2 Leos in my life. So you better watch that, Gina.
Oh.
Both her and my son. I was like, oh, I can feel their energy right in here. I'm like, yep, there they are. And I try not to. And it's so hard to block them sometimes because the universe is like, hey, they're in the majority too. So there they are.
Yeah. And Celeste, I've been to your studio to do full readings, and I have to say, if you guys haven't done that, you guys need to do that. You need to get with both Susie and Celeste and do a full reading, because it's the stuff that comes out is absolutely like mind blowing. There's stuff that you don't know. I mean, we're friends and we've been friends for a long time, but there's still stuff you don't know, right? Mm-hmm. And it comes out. And you're like, what about that? And you're like, oh my God, how did you know that?
You're like, shut up.
I know. Stop making me think about stuff.
And, you know, and it's so funny to try to do a reading on yourself, isn't it, Celeste? Like me, it's like the universe. See, exactly that same face. The universe is always like, I already told you. And I'm like, I know.
That's typically you pull cards and it's like, you know the answer.
I know.
Right?
Why are
That's
you
why I'm pulling this card, is because I know the answer. But sometimes we do actually know the answer and we just don't like it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there are times when that's possible to change. And there are times when, no, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever find, like, I pull runes for stuff a lot? And that's how I do things, right? Is I'll consult the runes. And the last question I asked, which I won't tell you guys what it was, but the last question I asked, it was really wishy-washy. And I pulled like 6 stones, and every time it was like, well. I'm like, damn it, give me an answer. It's probably because I'm going, well, I don't know. I don't know.
That's why I like specific questions, huh? It's easier.
Yeah. Was it a predicting the future question? Because I feel like a lot of people think that we can predict the future. We can predict where you're heading, but if you change or they change or the world changes, the future changes. The future is not solid.
It was
this still does not account for free agency. It can tell you about your free agency and say, hey, because I've done like option A, B, or C for people. And we went through each one, but they still have their own decisions to make, you know, so you can always change everything, even down to the slightest thing. Like, do I want to sleep an extra 5 minutes? That might change your life. So,
yeah, you may avoid an accident or get into one. Who knows? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You just never know. It's like not taking the train the day the train is derailed.
Yeah. But what we do is kind of pull the most likely. It's like Eugenia was saying that it's like directly on that path that you're already headed. You know, this is where you're going at this time. And like usually we don't divine that far out, right? It's like.
Well, it's kind of, I mean, we write our story. We write the things that are going to happen. We can't necessarily write what Colleen's going to do in my life or what, an ex-husband or a child is going to do in your life. But it's, I don't know, sometimes I feel like we need to focus more on this minute because this minute affects our future rather than hoping to get information about the future. But we have to get there. We have to make the right decisions. We have to put in the effort and the energy and the work to get to those things, or we have to let go of things. And that is often very difficult. I have had a person that came to me multiple times, and I'm not exaggerating, about men and should she marry them and everything in the cards. And when I do cards, I let the people pull their own cards.
Yeah,
and it's like, you can't say I have affected your reading. You shuffled, you chose the deck, you picked the cards, and they're screaming, no, we're seeing the tower, we're seeing the death card, we're seeing the one where you're all stabbed with all the knives. And they're like, so is that a good sign? No, it's a really bad sign. You shouldn't. And they marry him and they end up divorced. And then they come in 6 months later. I'm not kidding you. This particular person did this over a period of 5 years and married 4 or 5 different guys that the cards scream. She didn't want me to do a psychic reading because I might interfere with that. And she pulled the freaking cards. The cards were like, don't do it. Right.
Yeah.
And it was like,
so we have a very good question from the initials BA, a huge skeptic when it comes to psychic readings. I'm not trying to be offensive, but isn't the spirit world always listening anyway? So how can one be sure that it's all true?
You can't. It's just like in life. I mean, I can say, hey, Colleen, how you doing? And she might be like, I'm great. How are you? And she's not great. You know, that's just, that's where you have to be observant and look at what's happening and don't just go by words, because unfortunately there are a lot of liars in our world for whatever. Some lie to be cruel or lie to be kind, and some just lie because I have nothing better to do.
Also, in the spirit world, you're not going to die and then all of a sudden be this perfect being on the other side. You're still the same person. So you can still lie to somebody on the other side. Otherwise, why would we have some spirits that are a little darker than others that we've dealt with, right, Colleen? So you can have those tricksters. You can have those ones that want to feed your energy, those ones that want you just to be just as miserable as them. So, you know, you just use your own intuition and your own discernment. So that's my advice to you. If you feel like you're a skeptic for them, then use your own intuition, because, you know, whether you're going to do it or not, you're right. So it's going to be on you, if that makes sense.
I mean, you can always ask questions here, B, and just, you know, kind of test the waters about something that maybe you're interested in seeing. Not like you can't trick these ladies, because they're gonna feel it or sense it immediately. But if you have a question, then you can start to feel the vibe on who's coming through for them. That's connected to you. That's.
And I've run into some spirits that had passed on, and they were not nice people, and they were still trying to be jerks to the living. You know, so not everybody is still nice. So
no.
Well, and that's with some of the hauntings. And we ask, you've been using a Ouija board? Well, I asked and they told me. Well, what makes you think they would tell you the truth? Well, because I asked. Well, that, you know, that isn't how things work. And that's how some people can get into big trouble or get in a situation where things kind of invite themselves into your life or your house, because you're talking to, I have no idea. And you're asking them personal questions. And how, I mean, if you can't for sure say, well, I talked to Colleen and she said she's fine. And if you can't for sure say that that was true, how could you say it to something that most people can't see, most people can't sense? And why in the world would you invite a complete stranger into your home,
right,
or into your life?
Right.
It could be Jack the Ripper. It could be, you know, it could be anybody. And it's so many people get in way too deep, especially with things like Ouija boards, but they get the bad rap. Any kind of thing, like our dowsing rods that we use, or pendulums, any of that can be manipulated. Sure. And there is no way to 100% guarantee that it's always the truth or it's always the correct answer.
We go
We're all gonna know when we die.
Yeah. So, Susie, do you have Lizette's?
I do. And so, Lizette, I actually pulled from 2 different oracle decks on romance, and the main card on both of them, as I pulled them, shuffled and pulled. You see what that says?
Oh my God.
Both of them at the top. Now, the universe is saying, though, you've got to let go of the old past hurts that have happened to you from that old narcissist, and get that old like that old cassette tape, that old recording out of your head. If you want this next one to be really successful, you've got to rewrite that recording. You know, I mean, I'm from the old VHS era, right? So you're going to grab that old Disney movie and you're going to shove that in there and you're going to re-record Star Wars or something over top of it. Okay. That's what we're doing. We're forgetting about Disney's Bambi and we're going for Star Wars this time. Whatever you want to put.
That's exciting though.
Yeah, and then on the other one, it was saying, so that was the darker one that said, hey, let go of the old abuse, the old trauma that you went through. Get that crap out of your head. It doesn't matter anymore. It's in the past. This newer person, it says past life relationship. So you've known them before, whether it be before you got here this time or when you were young. And then lots and lots of attraction. We won't talk about that one online, but
oh, Lizette. Woohoo.
That was really cool though. 2 engagements, boom, out of 2 different decks.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So yeah,
And I want to throw one more thing to BA. I was born a psychic. I was born a medium. I've seen the other side my entire life, and I am a huge skeptic, especially of psychics. I've seen far too many that want to take advantage of people, want to steal their money, want to make this what should have been a one-time encounter into this, oh, you need to come back next month. You need to come back next month. It isn't being a psychic that's bad. It's the bad people who pretend or use it for the wrong purpose, like financial gain over other people. So, and that's in anything. Not every priest molested children. Not every politician is 100% corrupt. But because there are a few that make a big, powerful statement, it kind of becomes that stereotypical definition or feeling that you get about a certain type of person.
There are certain people who have made a lot of money and they're not truly psychics, they're mentalists, and they're very, very good at body language. Mm-hmm. And they'll say something like, there's a grandma named Dorothy in the audience. Well, Dorothy was common for my mom's era and my mother's era. They were both Dorothys, right? So is there any, and then they look for the faces that are going, oh, my grandma was Dorothy. And they see that, and then they hone in on that, and they start reading clues from body language. It's not psychic abilities. It's mentalism. Mm-hmm. And mentalists who are very, very good, and I won't say names because I don't want us to get sued. But mentalists who are very, very, very good are very wealthy. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's a show. That's all it is. It's not a true ability. Well, it is an ability, but it's a scam. It's not a ability.
It's like the phrase, like the loud few outweigh the honest many. You know?
Exactly.
I've got 2 things, if that's okay. So Lizette, I try to wipe the readings between every time. So it's almost like you're new to me again every time I come in. But I just pulled on your husband again. And I feel like some of that old trauma is old family trauma, like stuff that you witnessed maybe some of your relatives going through with people that may have been kind of toxic. And it says that your relationship, the way that you two deal with each other and the way you guys resolve problems and things like that is actually breaking that family curse. So I just wanted to let you know that you're the next generation is going to be even more healed because of what you and your husband are achieving right now. So I just wanted to let you know that. And then also, I'm with Celeste, like I was born this way. I've also died several times. I've seen the other side, seen the body, seen everything, traveled. And I know that there's more out there than what we know. So
thank you.
Celeste,
would you mind handling one of BA's questions here, though? Navigating work-life purpose and romance, maybe if there's anything that comes to you for BA.
Okay, let me see
Just
if I can.
Yeah, you got it there.
Yeah.
And then while you're working on that, Susie, would you pull some random cards for the next 2 weeks for David, please?
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, David, my rainbow unicorn, Smarty, says you've been focusing on work a lot, which is awesome. You're doing really well in your work right now. You've got the angel of temperance there, so you're being able to find your balance. It also shows you chasing after truth. And I don't know how that resonates for you, but I literally see you chasing after not the truth, but your truth. And that you've got a decision that will be coming up here pretty soon. It's not like a major life one, but it feels like a fun one. Like you get to make some kind of fun decision. It involves you and your wife. So probably sounds like another vacation, you doggone. When are you going to take us?
Yeah.
I
mean, really, seriously.
Too.
Mm-hmm. So that's what we got for the next couple of weeks.
What I would give advice on is I am feeling that there may be a little bit of a struggle with balance. And what I mean by balance is most people say this is balanced. 50-50 is balanced, but that isn't really balance. When you think about a year, we have 365 days. There are 2 days where there's balance, equal sun, equal dark. There's then 362 days where it's this or it's this, and that is still balance because in the overall period of a year, it equals out. So what I'm feeling is that you struggle possibly with having time or having like feeling like your schedule is able to allow you to have a good job and allow you to have a good relationship and allow you to take care of yourself and all of the different things that you have in your life. And you think that 100% of the time or 80% of the time, it has to be this. And it doesn't. And so what I'm feeling is like, I don't know if you're Libra, but this is a very Libra thing. So we have this scale and Libra will run and jump to the other side because it's going, down or up and jump back. And so you spend all this time trying to have balance when what you should be focusing on is what makes you happy, what makes you feel fulfilled, what feeds that passion or allows your passion to feed its success, its happiness, whatever it is. And sometimes it's kind of scary to stop and not, try to control everything. And I'm not saying you're a control freak. I'm saying I'm a control freak. And sometimes the universe takes that control away from us. And so when we can learn to live in the moment, instead of chasing the butterfly, instead of hopping from one side to the other, trying to keep life balanced and just live. Oh my gosh, there's a concert coming up. I'd really love to go, but I don't really have the money and I'd have to have a babysitter and I would go to the concert. Figure out those things that call to you and do it or the things that you're like, this doesn't quite feel right, but I've got to. It's an obligation. Well, just that attitude going into it already sets it up for complication. And so try not to stress about it. Try not to have to plan everything. You're speaking to the person who has every freaking thing written in her planner. And it doesn't make things smoother. And it often puts our energy use into the trying to be balanced, trying to be in control, trying to do everything, or trying to do nothing, when in fact it's supposed to be an ebb and flow, a give and take. And we do better at the things we need to do and the people we need to take care of when we take care of ourselves too. And I'm speaking to myself as I tell you that. But that's kind of what I'm feeling. Don't think you need to have your entire life planned out, because life happens. It happens while we're making our plans of what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Thank heavens. Otherwise, it would be so boring. Really? You know, if you planned everything to the T and it all happened how you wanted, you'd be bored stiff.
I don't know.
And Gina, and Celeste is talking about like being very present and being very in the moment, because anxiety lives in both ends of the spectrum of, oh crap, I didn't do that, or oh crap, when is this going to happen? But being present, you know, is going to help reduce a lot of that.
Yeah. My youngest high schooler is here sitting behind me in a car and wanted to ask if someone would do a reading with past, present, future, path concept type.
I'd say that's probably a good one with the cards.
Yeah. Susie will draw cards, Danielle. It's really interesting. Being present, I find I have a difficult time with that in all aspects, except when I'm outside with my animals, because you have to be front and center present. You're enjoying their antics. You're mad at their poop. You know what I mean? It's just like, but you're just there. Everything else disappears. It's their antics. It's petting them. It's giving them their love. It's, you know, that's, for me, it washes away everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a form of grounding and a form of releasing and receiving.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and that's it. I have since we lost our other dog, Morty doesn't like to go outside by himself. And so I have to go outside and sit with him. I don't have to, but he won't go outside. And that gives me my chance to sit outside in the sun and enjoy nature and the heat or the breeze or the rain that I wouldn't have taken the time to do otherwise.
Okay, Susie, do you have the cards?
Yeah, so your past, it shows that you did have a passion, that you kind of think you had the world all sorted out, but you're starting to get to be that place where it's like, oh crap, what am I going to do now? I got to like pick a path, pick a direction. At this time, you're kind of like overthinking things and you're self-sabotaging a little bit. But in the future, you're going to be able to find that passion and that strength to pull through. It's also saying that, so I'm more concerned about the future. The past is past. It happened. You know what I mean? Unless it's directly affecting your future. So right now, the future, like you're going to be able to find that passion and that strength for the next steps in your life. I feel like you have a little bit of fear towards being independent on your own, out of school. You know, what do I do? Do I get a job, go to, you know, college? You know, what am I going to do? What do I want to do for the rest of my life? I'm telling you, as a 52-year-old woman, you're going to change your mind up until the day you die. And the beauty of life is you can always learn something new. So find something you're passionate about right now and just learn all you want about that and then move on to the next thing. So there's actually no wrong decisions in life, because the universe puts people, places, things, situations in your path for your highest good so that you can learn and grow. It has perfect and absolute timing. So just trust in it and just enjoy this ride, because, you know, we're not here for long. And so just find things that you're passionate about. If it changes, roll with it and do some more, you know? Keep going.
Max.
To Lizette, one of my favorite things to ground in the winter is to go outside at night when there's fresh snow and the moon is out and you get the diamonds and the sparkles snow, and you just kind of allow that. It's like a magical, it's like a calming because it's cold and your breath and all of that. Or look at frost on the windows and the little like snowflake looking star designs that they are. And just to me, it reminds us that we're part of a big whole, but we're also an individual. And it's just kind of it takes the overwhelming, but even going outside and just walking in that frozen snow and you hear the crunching, just dress up warm, take you a thermos of hot coffee or cocoa or something, and just breathe that cool air and think as you breathe in, peace, release, healing, letting go, grounding, whatever, those kind of things. So,
you know what? Or just go stick your tongue to the flagpole. That'll bring you right back to grounding and reality real quick in the middle of winter.
So we'll take BA's last question here. Let's go ahead and do, BA would like a card specifically on romance.
Romance. Okay.
So, and a job, and then we'll call it an evening, but we'll go ahead and get that last reading done. But yeah, Celeste, I find the winter is harder for me because I'm a sun lover and I'm outside and I'm in the, but I'm still outside with the barn. I still have to take care of the animals. So I'm still outside, even though I'm freezing to death here and I'm cussing it every minute. But you find those moments of beauty that, like you said, the fresh snow or that glorious day of sun that you get after 2 weeks of just terrible weather. You make it outside and you just have to find those moments, right? So yeah.
Okay, so far I've pulled that you either have met someone just recently. It feels kind of fresh. I don't feel like they're outside of your energy right now. I feel like they're actually in your energy. This might be the one. But you're still kind of like a little iffy about it, which is totally understandable. Yeah, but it's kind of showing that it could be the one. You are going to learn something from this relationship, which is basically why we have relationships, is to learn and grow and learn things about ourselves that we need to heal and move on from. And so this person is going to kind of mirror you a little bit. So just be aware of that. But it's not always like a bad thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they'll teach you things just as well as you'll teach them. And then, so I feel like they're in your energy now. You may not recognize them yet as the partner, but they're around you. So you do know of them. Does that make sense? As far as the job, we've got a Queen of Swords in reverse. That's definitely a confusion on what you should do for work, and if you should switch some things. Says actually, boy, you're really talented. Actually, no matter what you choose to do, you're going to be successful. You have the strength and the fortitude. I am not sure what your sign is, but it feels like a sun one, like very, very strong-willed personality. Very capable of giving equal give and take. So somebody I would really like to have like a business partner with or work really close with. Does that make sense?
Very cool.
Your money. So
good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm picking up.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us this evening. And I hope, BA, you were new to the show. I hope that these readings have helped you and that you continue to come back. Everything is accurate to a T. Ladies, you guys are always so amazing to me. It just blows my mind that somebody can walk on the show. We don't know who they are. And you do a reading. You do readings. So Celeste, Susie, thank you. And thank you guys for the audience. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be back next week, 7 p.m. And McKenna for a new topic. Thank you. Thank
More
you.
spooky.
Woo-hoo. All right, everybody. You have a wonderful week. And we are live tomorrow, by the way, for more cult activities. Weird. We're talking about cults tomorrow night. Live, 7 o'clock. Bye, everybody.
See ya.